back to the spooky episode of
Wait, what were we talking about?
This is a bonus episode for you guys where Miss Kelly here is gonna go ahead and she's gonna give us a little history, some lore on the Appalachian Mountains. A little bonus episode for you guys since we did miss a week, but
Yeah,
we
we're
also
back
thought
on it.
we're back on it. But we thought this would be cool. As a disclaimer, this is going to be a two-part episode, so we'll have our first episode today, which is Thursday, if you're listening, and next week on next Thursday after our normally scheduled episode. So,
Buckle up.
buckle up, everyone. It's gonna get a little spoopy.
Yeah, super spooky.
Super spoopy.
But yeah, so the Appalachian Mountains, they're they're actual mountains. They have foresty areas. They do span throughout 18 states.
Oh, wow.
Which is insane because I didn't know that. Which being West Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Maine, Maryland, New York, Kentucky, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and South Carolina.
Can you make that into a song?
West Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia, New Hampshire. That's all you're gonna do.
Just the whole episode of you just singing
Just
what
singing.
states
These are the 18 states.
the Appalachian Mountains are in.
But yeah, they are considered the oldest mountain range.
Oh, wow.
Which is insane. They are estimated to be over 700 million years or 1.2 billion years old.
Oh, wow.
So they have been there for a hot minute.
They've been around.
The length of them is 2,050 miles, which is it's pretty big. I'm assuming it's pretty big.
It's a little.
It does span a little long.
It's not that far. That's what, marathon?
The area that it sits on is over 737,000 miles squared.
Oh, wow.
But it has an elevation of estimated of 6,684
Feet?
Kilometers?
Kilometers?
I'm gonna go feet.
Did you don't have. Oh, just. That's all you need to know. 6,684.
The region itself, of course, mountains. It does have dense forests, fog, think twilight. Some of the tribes, because this was inhabited for a hot minute by Native Americans, were the Cherokee, the Iroquois, the Shawnee. Yeah, but these mountains themselves, they have a lot of lore to them, a lot of mystical, and a lot of people actually fear them. There are rules that we're going to dive into in a bit that you must follow, or else you will get got by something, which I will also be talking about the mythical beings that could potentially eat you.
Just a little snack for them.
Yeah, just a little snacky snack. It's like their 7-Eleven, but their 7-Eleven is Appalachian Mountains.
Free range convenience.
Period.
It's like those free range chickens, but we'd be the chickens.
Yeah, we are the chicken.
What goes gobble? A turkey? Gobble,
Turkey.
Gobble, gobble,
Gobble,
gobble.
That's secretly my talent. But yeah, so I wanted to honestly research a little bit as to why people are horrified of this.
That makes sense.
Because what the heck, they're just mountains. Mountains, like just hiking them. Just obviously, well, yeah, crazy people.
Do you still think they're just mountains, or after
honestly,
your research?
After my research, because look, this is what happened when I was researching. Weird stuff started happening.
Ooh.
Like, let me tell, and that's what I wanted to talk to you yesterday about. Because I started researching a lot more. And I was playing like videos and stuff. I don't know if it was just me mentally because I was already on
just
edge.
psyching yourself out.
But I started researching, of course, my turtle. Usually she's looking outside, minding her own. I have a turtle, by the way, people. But she usually minding her own business, looking outside.
Yeah.
No, this woman actively looking around in the room, but just like staring around the room. I was like, okay, that weird. Because usually when the window's open, she'll stare outside the window, look at the dogs, stuff like that. But no, like she was being a little weird. And I started hearing like tapping on the window. And then I was like, oh. And my neighbor's dog, he barks. And that's who my turtle stares at. But this man, and he won't bark. He'll bark if something's there. But he's usually pretty chill, minding his own business.
Okay.
Really good dog. This man was barking up a storm. And it was also 10 at night.
Girl.
So I was like, oh no. So I showered. I was showering also. After that, And let me tell you, I replaced all my light bulbs in my bathroom recently.
Okay.
2 of them went out.
Oh, they say you don't need these.
No, he's good. But
You're good.
I will
They
say,
just wanted ambient lighting for you.
honestly, pop off. I will say though, after my research, I did see a couple things that the more you look into it, the more stuff happens. I was like, man, like, you couldn't have said this before research.
There couldn't have been a disclaimer.
It was like, look into it. Oh, but also, this is everything that's wrong.
It's like in the fine print.
Yeah, like in the super tiny, like white ink all the way at the bottom.
Like those medication commercials, but they say it really fast.
Yeah, so it just sounds like you're like,
hello?
It basically did that. And I was like, what the heck?
Wow. They fine printed you.
Dicks.
You set me up.
You assholes. I set myself up, by the way. I decided actively, and I was talking to my mom about this. I decided actively. Could have chosen any topic to make this 2-parter.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, unicorn. Something like, no, what did you say? Appalachian Mountains. I'm setting myself up for failure.
But you like the spooky stuff.
I do like the spooky, hence every single episode.
I think every episode you've mentioned something a little spooky.
But yeah, so with that being said, I scared myself a little bit, but the general public is afraid because of course, the terrain itself. It is very steep and very rocky, the mountains, although yes, there have been trails that have been made specifically for people to walk on, hike on, and they are more safer per se. The terrain itself, if you go off-roading basically with your 2 patitas, is horrible, and it is very overgrown, very steep. It's difficult to navigate because the weather is just horribly, it changes very rapidly, so it'll be raining and then it won't be raining. But yeah, and not only that, but of course it is a dense forest. That's another reason people are horrified of, just because when you go into a forest, obviously not everything is mapped because it is a forest. It's hard to map, like, oh yeah, there's 3 trees in this section and stuff like that. So a lot of people, of course, they do get lost just because it is that dense.
Yeah.
And you can also get injured. And pues aquí que van.
Yeah, that's true.
You might not make it out. Well, with you being lost, it is very hard to form search parties and stuff like that, just because of how dense the terrain,
and how big everything is,
and how big it does span a lot of miles.
Easy.
So
I could run that in an hour.
I'm gonna actively search for everyone and find them.
Call me crazy. If this is a 2-part episode, I don't think you're coming out of there alive.
It's okay. I will be coming out alive. I will become friends with all the bees. You motherfuckers just chase me all the way to my house. We are coming back to your home. Next, of course, the supernatural folklore of all the different stories that we're gonna go into a little bit. Not a super. I do want to do kind of a deep dive later on. Okay. About just mythical beings. Yeah. But for right now, we are gonna skim a little bit through it, hear a little bit of their stories. Okay. But of course, these beings, they are depicted physically horrifying, if I do say so myself. But of course, there is that. Not only that, but there is the geological history having to do with it. Just because it is that old, and of course older things such like buildings, stuff like that, for some reason everyone is always horrified of them, because how are you able to stand 1.2 billion years? That's true. And still be as rambunctious and full of life as the Appalachian Mountains are? Because it kills everyone that goes in. It eats, it steals souls. That's why every soul it takes, a tree pops up. Preserve the earth again. Imagine if that actually happened. You know what? That'd be crazy. They took earth preservation into their own hands. The whole U.S. would be the Appalachian Mountains at that point. Maybe that's what's happening. That's why it's so long. Of course, going back to like the supernatural beings, a lot of their stories are also super creepy, such like hauntings, them actually going after people, stuff like that. So with that, the spread of word by mouth is a big thing as to why people are so horrified of this thing, just because of that. Not only that, but of course the culture. The culture is very different. Like I was mentioning, there are a lot of different ethnicities, different cultures that mix in the Appalachian Mountains. It is kind of a melting pot. You have settlers that came from Europe that started with, obviously, let's be honest, colonizing a little bit. Oh, yeah. So they started taking over land. So there's that. There's obviously the people that were there, their land, their rights. And then you just have people who ended up like cheap homes for sale. Appalachian Mountains, say less. They said, you're affordable, you're a little haunted, but that works. It works. I'll take it. Period. I get it. Invite the ghost over for tea. Yeah. No, actually, I'd be chilling with them. Yeah, there's that, and then there's the environmental issues that it has, just because a lot of people are deforesting it. They're eroding the soil, climate change, and water is starting to run out there. So it is getting a little insane.
Oh, dang.
But yeah. So those are all the fears that we have. So now we're going to dive into the spoopy stuff.
The spooky.
Ooh. So a couple of the myths, I'm going to name them all, and then we're going to dive into some of them. We have the Bell Witch, Mothman. Mothman. Sorry guys, I might butcher up this name, but it's the Wampus Cat.
Okay.
The Lost Colony of Roanoke. The Brown Mountain Lights.
Okay.
The Wendigos.
Oh, okay.
Which I think that, honestly, that's what spooked me out the most. Because they're kind of like the flesh pit. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to say it.
You're already doing this. You're doing this to yourself.
The Skinwalkers.
Oh, Lord.
Of course, there are other stuff such like witchcraft sacrifices that also occur there. Ooh. There are a ton of ghosts. I mentioned this. I wrote this twice, apparently. I really was passionate about the Roanoke settlers.
I can see that.
We have evil people. The Raven Mocker.
A Raven Mocker?
The Grafton Monster and the Flatwoods Monster.
Wait, hold on. Rename those monsters?
The Raven Mocker, the Grafton, and the Flatwoods.
The heck is a Grafton?
No, so we'll start off with the monsters. So we have, of course, the Raven Mocker. This one specifically preys on the sick. Oh. And it looks like a decaying, human-ish being with patches of dark feathers and talons. If you want to be horrified, you can look up all of these beings, but there are trigger warnings. They look pretty graphic in some aspects, and sometimes they are depicted very bloody and occasionally with dead bodies. So again, search at your own risk. Yeah, search at your own risk. That is my trigger warning for this app. I don't think we've ever had a trigger warning. No. But this is my trigger warning that you can look up all these. The stories are pretty weird. So just keep that in mind. So that's what that looks like. It looks pretty. I'm not going to show you a picture because that's going to give you nightmares. It's pretty gross. But yeah, it looks pretty gross. Next we have the Grafton Monster. This one is the whistling one, because I know in the Appalachian Mountains they say that there's a lot of whistling going on, and that's usually how they lure you in. This is a tall, hairless, headless creature that kind of looks like Hulk. That was me. It kind of looks like Hulk, just think Hulk very mutated. It honestly looks, going back to our zombie episode, it looks a little bit like the Last of Us zombies. Oh. But no head, no hair. Okay. Just weird.
A lot of torso.
Yeah, a lot of torso. And it whistles at you. Next we have the Flatwood Monster. This was a little weird, honestly. I won't lie. This one I had a little bit of issues researching, just because a lot of the times it says that it's an alien that kidnaps you. Oh. Which that to me was insane.
Like from outer space?
Yes. It was either that or it was a being that would kidnap you and then send you to the aliens. So it wasn't an alien
like
itself.
They have a truce.
Kind of. So it was either one or the other. I couldn't find it for sure what it was.
Oh my god.
But it's either one or that.
Kelly, it's the runner ducks from episode 1 that were sent from the alien tribes to spy on us. Lord Jesus.
Are you guys actually Flatwood monsters? I'm gonna fight. Our runner duck sanctuary is gonna have these guys too. You have got to be kidding me. So whether they are aliens or they might be associated with aliens themselves, these things are 10 feet tall.
That's a tall guy.
They're huge.
Guy? Thing?
It is big.
It's a tall thing.
It's a tall thing.
Yeah.
It has this is what literally like sent me over the edge laughing at one night. It has a spade-shaped head. So think like the deck of cards, you know? Okay. The spade. It has that as its head shape. It is a dark figure with glowing red or yellow eyes.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, and this thing just kind of pops up and it's like, let me kidnap you.
That's like a sleep paralysis nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people say that like that's the thing that appears the most, just because it's like your sleep paralysis.
Oh, wow.
When you're out there. But those are the 3 monsters. Of course, we're going to start off with the other beings. Well, I guess we could do... No, yeah. The Bell Witch. Okay. This is a witch or malicious evil spirit that haunted the Bell family. It's a family that lived in the Appalachian Mountains. And it slowly started possessing people, moving stuff, until it eventually started hurting them physically.
Oh, wow.
The Bell family did make it out. However, the witch was named. It was considered a witch. However, there's no proof. They say it's just a spirit.
Okay, that's didn't they make that into a movie?
Yeah. I think they did. And next we have was of course Mothman, the iconic man himself.
Not to be confused with Mothra.
No,
the Titan from
Mothra's
Godzilla.
The one that helps. Mothman comes out in SpongeBob. Fun fact.
He does.
Fun fact. He does. He's one of the villains.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I did not forget. He's considered an omen for disaster, just because every time he appears, at least in the Appalachian Mountains, something happens. Whether it's a death, someone gets sick, something of that sort. He usually comes out just like, kind of like the SpongeBob version. Red eyes though, huge moth wings, and he's actually pretty tall as well.
Oh, okay.
And he looks like a moth. His first official sighting was in a graveyard, so that's why they say it's a bad omen.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But he was in a graveyard, and that's when a couple people they were there. I don't recall if they were visiting something or someone, or if they were just cruising. Because people are weird.
Yeah, a bunch of teenagers breaking into a cemetery.
Yeah, and from there they turned around and they saw this huge being with red flashy eyes, huge wings, and it looked like a moth, but it was a man.
Imagine it was just the groundskeeper, just with all his cleaning supplies.
Yeah, his big backpack.
Yeah,
and these guys are like Mothman. It was actually a tree, probably. And he was cutting to make it look pretty.
Poor guy. He was just carrying the branches to the trash can.
These teens, but yeah, but that's Mothman. Next we have the Wampus Cat. She is a half woman, half cougar. Oh. Her story is that she was a jealous woman who started spying on her husband because her husband wasn't spending enough time with her. She was a witch, so she used a spell that made her like a cougar per se, because this also happened in the Appalachian Mountains. Mm-hmm. But the spell went wrong, and she ended up turning into this being that was half cougar, half human, and she couldn't reverse.
Oh, okay.
So that's her whole story. She is a bigger cougar, and she does look like a mutated cougar. Oh. So she is a little creepy. Like, it looks, honestly, she looks like an AI image where you put, like, cougar, and then you know how it distorts it a little bit? Like, yeah, it adds an extra leg, an extra tail, funky. Little eye. Yeah. Like, she looks like that. Okay. She's beautiful, just away from me.
Just all just the way over there.
Now, the next ones that I was super passionate about are the Roanoke settlers. It is said that they were around the area where the Appalachian Mountains are at, or they are now in. Okay. Of course, the lost colony of Roanoke, if you guys don't know, that was the first official colony that the European settlers made in America. Well, at least in the United States. Not in the whole of America. People already here. But in the United States, for some reason or for another, they went to go get supplies to Europe. And from there, the colony ended up disappearing. On a tree, there was the word Croatoan. They were never able to figure out what it meant, what happened, but it is said that these settlers got so spooked by something in the Appalachian Mountains that they ended up running into them seeking shelter, and they just never made it out.
Oh, dang.
So that's the story, and it is said that you can still see some of them, or at least people that look like European settlers. Okay. In the Appalachian Mountains, and they are kind of lost. They won't really harm you. They're just kind of in their own world.
Yeah, it's like a lost
soul. Obviously, don't go up to them or nothing like that, because they'll get a little triggered.
No.
Imagine just seeing like someone from like 1300, I think.
Here's the thing for me. If you're actively going up to these things, like just like, hey, what's up, dog? You're doing that to yourself.
Honestly, yeah. Like, honestly, if you see them from afar, just turn around, walk calmly away. Think of it like if it were a bear. You're like not gonna Sandy. Run away from the bear. Or Sandy. You want to always turn her, you can make a dog pop off.
But just, maybe with these, don't talk to them.
Yeah, don't talk to them. Don't try not to acknowledge them, and I'll go into the rules right now. Try not to acknowledge them as much. Okay. Next, we have the Brown Mountain Lights. These are lamps that all of a sudden just like light up the Appalachian Mountains for some reason. Oh. They are said to be connected somewhat to the European settlers, to your Roanoke settlers. However, they don't tie them officially with them, just because they don't know fully if they are them or their spirits.
So are they physical lights, or do they just like appear?
They kind of just appear. Oh. They're like hovering.
So like, they're not like...
No. Like, it's just like light. Like just a random light.
Oh, I was thinking like a lantern or something.
No. From what I saw, no. It looked just like random orbs. on top of the Appalachian Mountains.
In Brave.
Yeah, but
with
they're
the
brown.
wisps.
But the thing is, like, the light is brown, so that's what freaks people out.
Yeah.
Because they just appear out of nowhere.
That makes sense.
Next, of course, we have, I'm going to call them by their nickname, the Windy Boys.
Wendy's.
The Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
They're very close to the Flesh Pedestrians. If you guys want to see that episode, I believe that was episode 1 with the Runner Ducks.
Yes.
Go check it out, where I do a little deep dive on those bad boys. But the Wendy Boys are the same similar mythical being. However, they are Cherokee mythology.
Okay.
Versus the Flesh Pedestrians, they are, I believe we had said a different tribe.
Navajo?
I believe they were Navajo. That's the main difference. They do shapeshift. Typically, a Wendy boy appears like a deer, but it looks like a mutated deer. Oh. A huge mutated deer, though.
Yeah.
That's typically the skin that they'll wear. However, they can shapeshift and they'll try and mimic your voice. So they're also called mimics in times.
Oh.
Which is another like synonym name that people came up with.
Yeah, but I think I've heard a few stories like that.
Yeah, where like they'll hear like a random hey or like a whistle,
and they're like, "That's my voice."
Yeah, but I'm right here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing. Of course, was witchcraft sacrifices. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say that there's a lot of witches out there that aren't necessarily practicing good magic. And I know there's like good magic and there's bad magic. These witches sometimes don't practice the correct way, so they will use animal sacrifices, human sacrifices in times to get their way one way or another. So that's another one. They're just humans. They're humans. Okay. They're just humans that live out there.
They're just doing
in like cabins and doing weird stuff. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Which that goes into our next one. Evil people. Of course, with any sort of forest, there are always people who end up, for example, murderers, robbers, thieves, criminals, anything of that sort.
Just some bad guys.
Who end up running from crime. Mm-hmm. And they end up just settling in like forests and stuff like that. Oh. So there are a ton of people in any forest. That's why it's always recommended if you do go hiking, and this is another PSA, if you do go hiking in any sort of trail, whether it's in the Appalachian or even somewhere where there isn't forest and you can be seen, always take someone with you. You never know what can happen. Okay. Self-service sometimes in these areas isn't the best. So if you do get lost, if you do get hurt, you always want to have someone with you just in case that person can go get help. With that being said, there are a lot of ghosts just because a lot of people, the lost people that get lost, stuff like that. Obviously, there's always, if you get lost, no one finds you, you're going to get hungry. There's not a lot of water. What's going to happen? You're going to pass away. A lot of ghosts are there because of the poor choices that these people made, or because of accidents, because of anything of that sort. So just always be mindful with them. Some of them don't know that they're dead. So of course, just kind of like move, just like let them be. They'll let you be if you let them be. That's the big thing. Yeah. And those are all the monsters. I have heard, I started researching other podcasts that also did. They named like 40 other monsters. Oh, wow. So, but these are the main ones that I wanted to touch base on. Like I said, we'll probably do another deep dive episode with like every single monster possible. So now, of course, with Appalachian Mountain being as crazy, there are sets of rules that you must follow. Okay. To survive. Just in general, with mythical beings, regular trails, stuff like that.
Rules are rules, guys.
Yes, always follow the rules. They're there because of reasons. Number 1, no, you didn't. You didn't hear, you didn't see, and you don't believe. I know that sounds really stupid, but that's one of the biggest rules they have in Appalachian Mountains.
It's number 1.
It is number 1. Oh, a lot of things can be heard, whether you hear something or someone, or you see something or someone. No, you didn't. That's the big rule. You did not.
You did not.
You do not believe in anything. You are just there hiking, minding your own goddamn business. If you want to, do what you gotta do, and then leave. Just because there are, again, mythical beings, or any sort of being, whether it's alive or whether it's a spirit, they could be saying your name. Don't acknowledge it. It is recommended that you leave the woods. That's a big thing. As soon as you see something, you feel something, or anything of that sort, it is always recommended to leave the woods. Or to and it's calmly, don't run. Then you trigger their prey instinct or their predator instinct. You always want to calmly, don't acknowledge it. Try and slow down your heart rate, because these things can for sense, some reason they can sense that. Calm down, take a little bit of a breather, and then go ahead and leave the woods very calmly, as if that's what you were already gonna do. If you see something in your peripheral vision, again, don't acknowledge it. If you're in the middle of the woods, just ignore it. try and head back as if you were going to, again, leaving the woods, just because you don't know what that could be. It can also be a live person. Do you really want to trigger like that criminal or that serial killer or that something to come and start running after you? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
The next one. If you feel something close following you, do not panic. It senses that.
Oh, we're going back to the sensing.
So again, these beings, especially, I believe these rules are more tailored towards like the mythical aspect of it. Of course, safety. Mm-hmm. These things, they can sense. They can you, for some reason, when you're scared, you can release an odor or your heart rate or something of that sort.
Yeah, it's like a chemical thing.
Yeah, that these guys just go nuts for.
Oh.
So, of course, you never want to. You always want to try and calm yourself. Do not run. I repeat, do not run.
Do not run, guys.
If you get to your car, do not speed away either. It will still follow you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So remember, just leave calmly, or it will follow you.
Oh, okay.
And it will follow you anywhere. It don't care. It'll leave the Appalachian Mountains. It don't care. Now, if you see something watching you, don't look for it. You will not like what you see. That's a big one that they have in the Appalachian Mountains. If you feel something looking at you, the biggest chance is that there is. So obviously, don't go looking for it. Again, try and leave the woods, because something has caught something's eye. Whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing, you have caught something's eye.
Yeah.
And you don't want to know what you could.
Yeah, you don't want to know what's watching you.
Try and leave as much as you can as soon as possible. Again, calmly, do not run, do not speed. If you get lost, do not follow anyone. I repeat, do not follow anyone. Typically, it's a man with a lamp. However, it could be just a regular man. Mm-hmm. You should not be following any man or woman if you're lost just in the middle of nowhere.
Don't follow strangers.
Stranger danger. Did your parents not show you that? Stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
Because these things are not human, and you're falling into their trap.
Oh.
That's how they do it.
Okay.
So when you're lost, I believe it's the Windy Boys.
Yeah.
The Windy Boys will then put on their human face on for a little bit.
Okay.
And then they'll try and lure you into their den.
Oh.
And then obviously
hit
you or something of that sort.
Do whatever they do with you.
Yeah. So again, don't fall for it. Just leave. It's okay. You can leave. If you are staying in a cabin, try and find a cabin that doesn't, because obviously people stay out there. It's cool. It's fine. It's a forest. It looks pretty. If you see a welcome sign or a hello sign, do not stay at that lodge. Do not stay at that cabin. Do not stay in that area. Mm-hmm. All the things have been invited in. I repeat, all the things have been invited in. Whether you lock the door, you lock your windows, the thing has access to that house.
Because of that welcome sign.
Yes.
Oh.
So don't stay there. Reschedule your booking or something.
Cancel your
booking and stay away from the Appalachian Mountains. Mm-hmm. You don't need that. Again, another one, and I think this is common rule, don't be out at night.
Yeah.
If the sun's out, you're not out. Sun's out, it's not sun's out, bun's out. Oh yeah, actually yeah, sun's out, bun's out. You can be outside when the sun's out. But sun's not out, you should be inside. It's okay.
Go to bed. There's a bedtime for a reason.
Yeah. Just because there are other things that even the wild animals are afraid of.
Oh, wow.
You don't want to be outside when the wild animals are hiding too.
Yeah.
Trust me.
That makes sense.
Another thing, now that we're at the inside-outside, lock all your doors and windows and close all the curtains at night. It goes to the same thing where you're not going to like what you see, and these things know how to open doors and stuff like that.
Oh.
And windows.
That makes sense.
So make sure they're locked. If you're able to push anything in front of them, go for it. Get that extra security. And close all the curtains because you're not going to like what you see. Point blank what it is. These things, they do depict themselves once they are seen to be super scary because they want to get that reaction out of you.
Yeah, they want that adrenaline.
So again, if you don't see them, you won't feel nothing.
Yeah.
However, if you see them, it's a human reaction too. It's natural. You're going to want to yell, you're going to want to scream, you're going to want to or something of sort. You're not going to be calmly with your heart rate down like this big thing, the white thing comes up to you.
You're just like, oh hey.
You're just like, oh hey. No, your heart rate's going to go up.
Well, you don't talk to it either, huh?
No, you can't. You can't say hey.
You're just like, look at that pretty tree over there.
And you're not supposed to look at the trees either.
Look at the sky.
Look at that. It's time for me to leave.
Look at that cloud up there. Wow.
But yeah, of course, in a lot of cultures, a bad omen is whistling because that means you're inviting and you don't know what is listening to you. So let's just stick to that. Don't whistle in the Appalachian Mountains. These things hear you. That's like an invitation for them to come to you. for them to basically num you.
Oh.
So don't give them the option. Yeah. Just actively turn around, leave.
Don't be a snack.
If you do whistle, just know they are coming for you, so try and leave the woods very calmly, fast. Again, don't run, don't drive very fast, ignore anything that you see, ignore anything that you hear, and most importantly, if you see something, try and stay calm.
Don't look at it. And look at the pretty dinosaur cloud in the sky.
Yeah, please and thank you. Again, like we have said, don't leave the marked path. Are you stupid? It's marked for a reason, guys. Yeah. Come on now.
Stay on your trail.
People have gone through it. People have and that's also your way back home. Mm-hmm. So don't leave it, because if you leave it, you will get lost. Not 100%. Yeah, you will get lost, and you also don't know what's lurking behind that trail.
Yeah, I'm sure off that trail. Like the emergency services and law enforcement know the trail too. So
yeah. Again, don't look at the woods or trees too long. You will not like what you see, or you will make contact with it. That goes again to the thing, you don't want to stare out to the abyss for that long in the Appalachian Mountains. Well, what this means, okay, yes, look at the woods. You're going to the woods to see the woods.
Yeah.
However, you shouldn't be staring at a tree for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Because then you're going to see something.
That makes sense.
Whether it's something human or whether it's not something human.
Yeah.
You're going to see something.
You're going to see something you don't want to see.
Yeah, so just avoid it. Just don't look at the woods too long.
Just don't stare, guys.
And especially, imagine, you're probably going to be eye level with them, so you're going to see their eyeballs.
Ooh.
You do not want to see eye to eye with them, because you made just eye contact with them and they will follow you. Even if you leave calmly, they will run after you. You have just told them, let's play game.
Yeah.
So maybe don't do that.
Don't do that.
If you camp outside, because people, again, like camping, stuff like that, first of all, try not to do that in Appalachian Mountains. I know some locals are like, oh my god, yeah, it's so fun. No. Let's be smart about this, guys. Let's be really smart about this. These things have mythical beings and mythical everything in there. Yeah. You really want to be stuck there with them?
Why are you camping out there?
But if you do, these are some warnings that you should have. Keep a fire always burning. That is your protection. That is your light. They are afraid of light. They will not be out in the they will be out in the sunlight. However, with the fire, for some reason that protects you, keep it on. Keep it on. If it's more than 2, try and keep watch. Of course, if you do fall asleep, that's fine, but make sure your tent is fully sealed, because in any little hole they can come in.
Oh wow.
And if something wakes you up, don't acknowledge it, but get up, because that thing saw you.
What if it's telling you to get up?
You want to stay? Well, then don't get up from the tent, but at least wake up a little bit and be like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Something for sure is around. But yeah, there are other unspoken rules, such as, this was a big one. A lot of people enter with 2 bullets into the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh.
One, to try and get the thing that's after them. And the second one, for you if it gets you. Because by the time it gets you, you're done. You are done.
Why are people going in there?
Honestly, I can see the vibe.
No.
I can see the appeal.
Absolutely not.
I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of like, okay, what if I see it? I'll be able to say, I survived the mountains of death. Gotta die somehow.
Oh, gee.
And then another one is, what sounds close is actually far, and what sounds far is actually close.
Oh.
So if you start hearing whistling and it sounds right next to you, it doesn't know where you're at. Okay. It's trying to lure you and it's super far away.
Yeah.
However, if you hear that thing and it sounds far, it's probably right next to you.
Okay. Yeah. That's creepy.
Those are some of the rules, some of the legends.
Wow. I didn't want to go before we started this episode, and I definitely don't want to go.
No, actually.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go.
No.
Fun fact, I was telling my mom about this. Like, hear me out, mother. Appalachian Mountains. She's like, vamos, esas montañas, vamos. And I was like, yeah, we just have to follow these 10 rules. She's like, right? Started telling him, she's like, what common sense? Why did they have to make rules? Do they not have common sense? I was like, no, they're not common sense. They were doing everything wrong. She's like, those are just common sense rules.
Oh, jeez.
And then I was like, pues vamos. And she was like, okay, I'm done. And then I started telling her the mythical being. She's like, that's pendeja.
Yeah, I agree.
Straight up. My mom was like, "Ta pendeja, mija.
Yeah.
No vamos a ir, vamos a gastar todo ese dinero en eso. Y yo quis. ¿Para qué dura 10 minutos allá adentro?" And I was like, no, we can hike. There's I believe it's like 200-mile hike.
Oh, jeez.
That you can spend, it spans throughout the whole thing. It's really beautiful.
Why are you going to go throughout the whole thing?
I don't know. It's really beautiful, though. A lot of people do it. But you do, it spans like a couple weeks, though.
Okay.
Like, you're out there for basically almost a month.
For those of you who might not understand Spanish so much, it's pretty much her mom telling her that she's insane.
Yeah, you're stupid.
And that she's stupid for wanting to go. Yeah.
But yeah, I was also, when I freaked out after everything, she was like, pues, ¿quién te trae?
Well, yeah.
¿Quién te trae?
Yeah, you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah, you're doing it to yourself. Stop researching into it. Stop looking into it.
Yeah, why? That's true.
But I'm down to get a cabin in the Appalachian Mountains.
No.
In the middle of nowhere.
Well, good luck on your journey.
Thank you. If we get 1 million, I'll say 1 million. I'll save us a little bit. I'll give us some time.
Okay.
When we get 1 million, I myself will go to the Appalachian Mountain and follow all the rules. I'm not stupid. Follow all the rules and stay in there for at least 10 minutes.
I will drive you there, but I will not go in.
Say this. I'll go in.
Okay.
I never said how far. I'm just gonna step like behind the line. Whoop, there you go. No, I'll walk. Look, I'll walk 5 minutes into the woods. Not into the woods, into the trail. I'll walk 5 minutes in, and then as soon as that my timer rings, I'm turning around and hopefully ignoring everything that starts calling me. I'm just gonna start hearing your name, Kelly.
Oh, jeez. Kelly. The car broke down. No. Okay, 1 million.
1 million.
1 million.
Yeah, I won't spend the night. I know a lot of people are like, get a cat. No, I'm not dumb. We're staying a city away.
A city, yeah.
Or we're staying in town.
I think that's still a little too close to home.
I think it's a little too close to home?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll stay at town down.
We'll get a flight in and out that same day.
Say this. We could do that.
Yeah, that works.
But we have to go during the sun out. I'm not dumb.
Well,
I'm not going when the moon is out.
No.
Imagine if that was a challenge. Oh, guys. Mm-mm. Just as soon as midnight, I will be walking into the Appalachian Mountains.
Well, you guys heard it here yourselves. 1 million followers, subscribers, however you want to classify yourself. I'm not terrified at all.
It's fine. I'm doing it. You're staying in the car.
Yeah. Well, all right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this little mini episode.
Yeah.
Well, kind of mini episode.
Well, it's
bonus episode.
I think it's a bonus episode. Next week, on Thursday, we will be going over a couple stories. I really am gonna hate myself for saying, but a couple Reddit and TikToker story.
Oh, okay.
So it's a couple.
It's two.
And then 2 actual. Well, we'll dive down the list out of the 11 reported
11
homicides.
Homicides
on the Appalachian Trail.
Wow. Okay. And you want to go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out.
Well, good luck with that.
It's a quick rodeo.
All right, everyone. Well, I guess that concludes our episode here.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. We will see you on Tuesday with the regular scheduling.
Bye.
Well, guys, that's the end of the episode. If you would like to give us any topics that you want to see us deep dive into or talk in one of our segments, feel free to reach us out, or if any feedback or anything of that sort that you would want to give us, you can find us on www.wetalkingaboutpodcast@gmail.com, or wait, what were we talking about? On Instagram. We'd love to hear from you guys.
I get that. I think I could do a pretty good pigeon.
Go, pigeon.
Are you ready?
To me, pigeon. Period. A pigeon has made it into our recording sesh.
Thank you.